There is Elite Series, currently loading to the channel as of right now. Take a little while. YouTube usually does this. There we are. So, stream's up. Game audio is working. My audio is working. The stream's up. The chat's up. We're all good to go. That is absolutely fantastic. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 6 of the PlayStation Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your lead commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. Constructed in 2008 and designed by track-making supremo Herman Tilke, the 5.06 kilometre 23-turn circuit is home to not only the first ever F1 night race, but also the longest race on the modern Formula One calendar. Being a street circuit, concrete walls line the edge of the racetrack, meaning that even the slightest mistake can be severely punished. With so many technical corners, such as the infamous Singapore Sling at turn 10 and the fast edge of grip final corners of turns 22 and 23, there are plenty of areas where the drivers can make mistakes. Another characteristic with it being a street circuit is that it's relatively difficult to overtake. That means qualifying will prove to be an important factor for achieving victory tonight. The best overtaking opportunity, without a doubt, is with the help of DRS down towards turn 7. There are other DRS zones heading into turn 1 and turn 14, so we may see some passing in those spots, but for the most part, overtaking will only happen at turn 7. The massive length of this race, coupled with the circuit's sheer difficulty, makes this arguably the most demanding race of the whole season. A proper test of speed, consistency, and endurance. Now, before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Spain. And also just a note on why we're starting so early. We're starting an hour early. That's thanks to the NRL Grand Final, so we don't clash with that. So we have at least a half-decent attendance with 16 drivers. But reports from last week in Spain. Only a single incident report involving Plevs and ACW, a collision at turn 2. The steward's verdict was a 5-second time penalty for ACW and 1 penalty point. That would move him from P4 to P6 in the final results. In the Drivers' Championship, Marcus Costa is leading on 126 points. Then it's a man on screen. Actually, no, that's his teammate on screen, Chip. But his teammate, Ferrari Pro, is second in the championship on 120 points. 6 points separating the top two in the Drivers' Championship. Silderfort is third on 92, followed by Bags Liddell on 72. Then Plevs on 62 rounds out the top 5. Vengeance P6, who is absent for today's race, which is a huge bit of news because he was looking forward to this race at Singapore. It's one of his better tracks from the interview we did with him last week, so it's a massive disappointment that he isn't here. Hillers is P7 on 46 points. 1 point behind him is both Spicy, now known as Spicy Salami, and ACW. Both Mercedes drivers are on 45 points, and GeForce Pato rounds out the top 10 on 30. In the Constructors' Championship, Williams are leading on 180 points, followed by Ferrari on 148. It's a pretty decent-sized gap between the top two teams as it stands. Red Bull are next on 114, so the top two, they've pulled away from the rest of the field. Aston Martin are fourth on 96, followed by Mercedes on 90. McLaren are next on 88, then AlphaTauri on 58. They're in a tight battle with Haas on 55. Alpine are 9th on 26 points, and Alfa Romeo at the bottom of the order with 20. Well, that's pretty much all the news out of the way. I can now introduce my co-commentator for this evening, who is once again KD1997. KD, we've got a long race in front of us here at Singapore. What are your thoughts heading into this one?
Well, thanks for having me again. Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on one big thing. It's pretty much an endurance race. There's definitely one word to put in it. It's because, like you mentioned, it may be like short in terms of length. It's 3.1 miles. Well, translating that what you said earlier.
5 kilometers.
But 5 kilometers, obviously. But anyway, to the main point. Yeah, no, it's basically an endurance test, especially if it rains, because in the rain around this racetrack, it's really, really hard. I find really around Singapore, and yes, of course, passing is a bit limited, but only turns 1 and 7, like you mentioned. Yeah, those areas are pretty much the only ideal spots I've ever taken. But other than that, there isn't really much, really. But it's just, you've got to have a lot of concentration. A lot of concentration when you go through these areas of the racetrack around Singapore.
Absolutely. There are so many areas as Whitey, who is actually Midas, by the way. That is just Midas with a name change. He's now Jay Whitey in the Alpine. He's had a moment coming out of turn 17. A common place to lose the back end of the car. That particular corner has had a slight redesign. That inside curve at turn 17 is quite a bit taller than what it was, and the car tends to bottom out if you cut it too much. It was quite a rude awakening, wasn't it, KD, when we first did that, driving around this circuit, because you hit the inside curb and your car lifts up and you slam into the outside wall.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's I like that. Not just that corner as well, but also at 21 and 20 and 21. Like you can even do that as well. Even with the car just bottoming out. If you take too much curve, though, that is, if you car will just be stuck there and you lose time if that happens.
But at the moment, I haven't got a weather report. KD, have you had one yourself?
Negative.
Okay,
Yep, negative.
So we've got no idea what the conditions are like for the race. But then again, there is a glitch. Oh, as Ferrari Pro ran wide there at turn 9, at the entry to turn 9, and invalidating his flying lap. But yeah, we got no idea what the conditions are going to be like for the race. But as I was going to say, there is a glitch where you're not properly given the correct indicators for weather while you're in pit lane. It would give you the indicators from qualifying instead of the indicators for the race, which is quite annoying, to say the least, because then you can't properly prepare from qualifying into the race if there is a weather change. So
Yeah,
drivers
I've
have to
seen
be
that a few times
mindful of that. So
Oh yeah. I don't know why it does that, but hopefully that glitch will be fixed.
well, I'm sure Cody's are aware of it, as well as the many other glitches within this game. So hopefully they get on top of it soon and it gets fixed as soon as possible. Now, currently, as it stands, Silderford is at the top of the table with a 1 minute 36.634. Closely following him is ACW in the Mercedes-Benz with a 36.796. Yellow flags are out here in the final sector. Drivers going slowly. Now, we were talking to ACW before the stream. He mentioned that expect to see qualifying times in the high 35s to low 36s. And currently, we're sitting at the mid 36s. And the track still has to evolve. So I reckon KD, ACW is absolutely bang on with those times.
I would agree with that. I mean, plus I have done a bit of practice runs myself. My PB is around the low 36s and high 35s as well. That's in GP mode, by the way, not in time trial. Oh, his Chips got disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
That was at pit lane entry as well. Silderford's coming out. And look, there's his car, just directly in front of Silderford. I don't know if the two made contact. Looking at Silderford's car, there doesn't appear to be any damage. So I think he's gotten away with that. But yeah, Chip, I'm guessing he spun coming out of the pits, potentially stopping the car at the pit lane exit, and he's been disqualified. That would be my guess of what's happened, which is extremely unfortunate.
Well, I know there was an AlphaTauri there passing the both of them. I think he was maybe letting them, well, could have been just him letting him through.
Yeah, that too. Because you were subject to that back in Canada last season, if I'm not mistaken.
It wasn't a disqualification, it was a 5-second,
five grid place penalty, that's right, for illegally blocking when you're trying to let people through, even though you were definitely not blocking people.
Nope. And no one was behind me except for the two cars that came on the racing line. And I was not on the racing line.
Yeah, that's right. Sprung back into my memory. Yeah, I remember that at Montreal. It was absolutely shocking that the game gave you that. But unsurprising, because Codemasters F1 games tend to be bugged. Very bugged.
We had another time on the board. Oh, we were talking about Ferrari Pros now jumped to third, also into the 36s as well.
Yeah, 36.9. Hello, chat as well. Hello, Clunky and Buster. Buster, we're starting early because of the NRL Grand Final. Well, that's what Plebs has put into the chat anyway. We had enough people agree to the time change, so we made the change. We're starting an hour early. It also gives room for Silderford to compete in this race because he's actually a resident of Singapore. If we started later, there's a real chance that he wasn't able to race tonight. So this allows him to actually do his home race before the actual home race. So, and he's currently sitting pretty at the top of the table with a 36.6.
And being a residential goldfish, he's got the goldfish helmet on as well.
Oh, does he really? Oh, wow,
yeah,
he most certainly does.
Because in the Discord he said, oh, I'm wearing a special helmet for a special occasion. And it's the goldfish. I was expecting the Singapore colors, to be fair.
No, he's going goldfish today. Fair enough, yeah. I suppose. It is a rather peculiar looking helmet. I think the extra fins that it has, though, is a bit illegal, I would guess. So, Marcus Costa, our current championship leader, he's making his way out to turn 4. Heading around turn 5, one of the more important corners on the racetrack, as it will dictate how much speed you carry through this flat out section around turn 6 and heading down into the best overtaking spot of turn 7. Bringing it down through the gears, down to 3rd gear, short shifting to 4th, using plenty of the runoff on the outside of the racetrack around turn 8, up towards turn 9 as Silderford improves to a 36.3. He's found 3/10 on that flying lap. Down this straightaway into the infamous Singapore Sing. This used to be a really nasty chicane on the original layout. Fortunately, it was revised in 2013. Over the Anderson Bridge and into the hairpin of turn 13. Another very important corner because we have a fairly lengthy straight plus a DRS zone after it. Up towards turn 14, which can be an overtaking spot occasionally. You need a really good run out of the hairpin in order to try and overtake into 14. Around turn 15 into 16, and then the aforementioned turn 17. Be careful with that inside curve. You saw that little vault up into the air there as Costa clobbers over the inside curb. Coming out of turn 19, then into turns 20 and 21. Got 2 corners left. They're 2 very tricky corners though. Turns 22 and 23, chucks it in 6th gear, misses the apex by a bit, but he crosses the line and jumps up to P3 with a 1 minute 36.792. And it seems ACW's improved as well to a 36.585. Oh, Costa had a moment at turn 3 there, losing the back end. That's okay, he's on an in lap. Plebs, meanwhile, is on a flying lap, heading up towards turn 5, bringing it down to 5th gear. Hits the apex quite well. Oh, almost hits the wall on the exit. He was awfully close to that concrete barrier. Got very friendly with it there. Up towards the first sector split. He's up, but only by a little bit, by 18 thousandths to the first sector. Around turn 8, up towards turn 9. We've seen drivers use that little bit of extra runoff on the outside of turn 9. We saw Ferrari Pro use a little bit too much of that runoff on the outside, copping a warning and an invalidated lap. Plebs making his way through the chicane of 11 and 12. And over the Anderson Bridge into this hairpin, turn 13. 3rd gear from Plebs, not bothering to use 2nd or 1st. He's carrying it in 3rd, trying to get traction on the exit. Into turn 14, and he's up now by 3/10. He's found a whole heap of time in the middle sector, but he needs to find a lot more to try and challenge pole position. He's currently sitting about a second off pole in P6, so it needs to be a pretty solid final sector. Underneath the grandstand, around turn 19, up towards turns 20 and 21, 4th gear, getting back on the accelerator, modulating it nicely, no oversteer whatsoever. Nice wide line into the final 2 corners. That's how you take turn 22. Absolutely clobbered the inside apex at 22, and Plebs jumps up to P3. 1 minute 36.691. Currently a 10th and a bit of ACW in P2. Mr. Salami's going back into the pits. Pump getting ready.
Yep, and he already did a 36.9. That was a little while ago. Top 6, meanwhile, if you look at closely, it's about separated by just over 6.5 tenths. Very close at the moment between those guys, really.
Especially considering this is Singapore.
Yeah.
As I believe Andre had a moment at turn 17, running wide I think he kissed the tyre barrier on the outside. Not getting the best of runs through turn 21. He's got 2 corners left to negotiate. Current PB is a 38.9. Crosses the line. Improved by a fair bit. 37.9. But even with that, he's P7. But look, he's a second of Ferrari Pro in P6.
That's a big gap.
Between 2 cars. Yeah, it's not like towards the back or towards the front. It's in the middle. So that's quite a sight to see. What's also a sight to see is that we got 3 minutes left in qualifying, so we're starting to get towards the business end of this session, where we see drivers preparing for their final runs in qualifying. And I think for Andre, I think qualifying's done for him. With this much time left on the clock, it's a very long out lap and in lap here at Singapore. I think his session is over. Because, yeah, he'll go back into the pits with under 2 minutes. That won't be enough time to do an outlap here.
Yeah, it takes you over a minute and a half if you push to get to your lap.
Yeah, that's right. Well, current flying lap times are in the 36s. So you need to give yourself quite an amount of time in order to prepare accordingly and get ready for your final run. Speaking of which, Ferrari Pro is making his way around the final 2 turns onto the main straightaway to begin his potentially final flying lap in this session. Up towards turn 1, bringing it down to 4th gear, clobbering the inside apex, around turn 2, then into turn 3. Gets a nice exit, no oversteer, no wheel spin, nothing whatsoever except stability from the Ferrari. Around turn 5, down this straightaway, he can see traffic, there's plenty of it in front. Around turn 6, up towards the first sector split, a Mercedes gets out of the way as Ferrari Pro is up by 77 thousandths to the first sector. The other Mercedes gets well out of the way. Good job from the Merc team. Out of turn 8, up towards turn 9. He invalidated here earlier. There's no such thing this time around. An AlphaTauri and an Aston Martin get out of the way. Well done to those drivers. Into the Singapore Sling, turn 10. Gets through there quite nicely through the chicane. Understeering a little bit. Almost goes into the wall on the outside. But he keeps the car out of the barrier and he makes his way around the hairpin of turn 13. Gets lovely traction out of the hairpin. He opens DRS and heads down towards turn 14. Brings it down from 7th gear down to 3rd. Does he short shift? No is the answer to that question. Cars are still in the way here. They're not getting out of the way. That is rubbish. I'm sorry, but that is rubbish that people aren't paying attention to that.
Oh my gosh. Yep, that's ruined his lap completely.
That was Nick in the way in the Alpine, not letting anyone through. He's stuck behind the Red Bull of Silderford. Sorry, fellas, that's wrong. It's quite obvious he was on a flying lap. He was catching those guys at a rate of knots. Fortunately, he's got time to do another lap. But
hopefully he's got fuel. That's the main thing. But he's still too close to the Alpine.
Yeah, he's going to be copping all that dirty air coming off Nick's car. He was on a good lap, and he's invalidated. That's just going to be the final straw, I think, for yeah, there's a wiggle. He's not happy, and I wouldn't be either. I'd be absolutely furious behind the wheel.
I'd be pissed if I was Ferrari.
4 cars in front of him perfectly got out of the way. Plevs has retired. On track, no less. His car's still moving. As Costa's up by just under 3/10 to the middle sector. Costa, our championship leader, he's looking to put a solid time on the board here as he makes his way through 16 into turn 17. Clobbering that inside curve, not as much as he did before, as there's Plebs' car off in the runoff area, deep at turn 18. Up towards turns 20 and 21. 4th gear, modulating the throttle nicely. Uses plenty of the racetrack on the exit. Around turn 22, around turn 23, up towards the line. It's a 35.9 from Costa. He jumps up to pole. Silverfort, meanwhile, is up by 41 thousandths to the middle sector.
Oh, ACW spun it.
Oh, he's done it at the bridge.
Yeah, Anderson Bridge. That's his qualifying done.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. It's down to Silverfort then to challenge for pole. He needs a mega final sector to beat Costa. Around turn 19, it doesn't look tidy from the Red Bull driver. Through 20, through 21, 2 corners remain. He needs to send it here. Around 22, chucks it in 6th gear. Around the final corner, up to the line. It's not enough. It's a 36.1. He misses out on pole by just under 0.2 of a second. Spicy 2 corners left for him. He'll cross the line. Will he improve? The answer is yes, I believe. 36.8 from Salami.
Yeah, he improves on time, but not position. Wow. Yeah, he had a mega final sector there, Marcus Costa, I would say. A mega final sector.
He put it together when it mattered.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Absolutely. But still, very unfortunate for iPro. Just the traffic he had to cop, especially.
That's going to be brought up for sure in the stewards reports. Because that's not right at all. It doesn't help that the game doesn't at all notify other drivers that you're on a flying lap. Like, that's something in real life that is used to full effectiveness, is that your engineer tells you about other drivers on flying laps. In the game, it just doesn't do that. So the drivers didn't know. But I think it's plainly obvious when a car is coming at you at 1 billion miles an hour, it should be pretty obvious that they're on a flying lap. But anyway, there you go. Costa puts it on pole position by 1/10.5 over Silderfort. ACW lines up P3, then Plev. Spicy's next, then Ferrari Pro, then Whitey, then Hilaires, then Bags, Roscoe Arm, Andre, Nick, Pato, Pump, Karma, Chip will round out the grid. Chip, really unlucky for him. He was disqualified for some incident at pit exit earlier in the session. Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
Race time here at Singapore. Will it rain? Is it dry? That is the question. We've got no idea here in the box. Well, it's nighttime, so it's hard to tell if it's overcast.
I think it's overcast. I think it's overcast. I mean, from the way I look, well, it's a bit more cloudy, but I mean,
it's
you
nighttime.
can't tell much of it.
That's all.
You can't tell much at nighttime. Yeah. I'd find out.
It's night weather. That's it. We're right on that, aren't we? Night weather. So.
Night weather. Yeah.
Now, for a dry race, if it is dry all the way through, strategy I think is pretty simple, isn't it? It's either medium hard or hard medium. This has been a thing in the past as well, because one of the biggest issues that the drivers have to deal with is tyre temperatures. Singapore is quite notorious for generating a lot of heat, especially through the rear tyres. So I imagine a lot of drivers would be opting to start on the hards. Let's have a look. Oh. When I meant a lot, I didn't mean everyone.
I just popped it up myself too. Every single one.
Well, we don't need to do a grid run there. Well, there's a predicted pit stop strategy. I've got to write that down. 18 to 24. Yeah, there we go. 18 to 24. That's the tyre life for the hard tyre. Everyone's on the hard. Okie dokie. No one's gambled for the mediums. I wouldn't have thought that would be a gamble either. I would have thought someone at the front might have put on the medium tyre and try and pull away early, but no. Unless we have weather at about like lap 18 to 24, then
well, like if it comes later, then they go to the
Then they go into the intermediate and go to the end. Okay, everyone's on the hard tyre. Good to know. I think this is the first time I've done a dry race and everyone has elected to start on the same tyre. Like a dry 50% F1 race and everyone's on the same tyre.
And let alone it's the hard tyre too.
It's a hard tyre. It's not like a set of softs, set of meat. No, hard tyre. Okay. Well, we can get rid of that graphic. That's useless. We don't need to know what the tyre lives are for everybody because they're all the same, aren't they? So the only thing we need to keep an eye on is drama at the start. And I imagine we'll probably see some. I mean, it's Singapore. So it sort of comes with the racetrack, doesn't it?
Of course. Especially with any... Well, yeah, not just Singapore. Any street circuit.
Any street circuit, yeah.
Yeah, you're bound to have drama because of all the concrete walls that lay in front of you. Oh, speaking of which,
Silverford, yeah, track don't go that way. Track goes straight.
That's the C, by the way. That's the C. Or bay, actually. But anyway.
Don't want to test the Red Bull's aquatic capabilities. I don't think that's a good idea. Marcus lining up from pole position. He's on the racing line. Silderfort lines up P2. He has the inside line for turn 1. So if he gets a better start, he has a chance of taking the lead on the opening lap. But he needs a good launch. All 16 cars are lined up, ready to race here. We got a lot of laps in front of us. 31, in fact. We've got 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go here at Marina Bay. It's a nice start from Plevs in P3. Costa, I think, will lead the field around turn 1. He does. Silderfort P2, then Plevs. ACW in 4th, then Ferrari Pro, then Spicy. Whitey is battling Gilles out of turn 3. Around turn 4, Gilles is in front and into P7. Chip makes up a place. He overtakes Pump. Oh, Bags and Nick battling for position as they head spinning goes Pato, I believe, in the AlphaTauri, and same with Karma.
Yeah, Karma too. They both spun. Synchronizely spin too. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think one of those got damaged too. Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Considering everyone's on the hard tyre, you can't fall back onto it when you get damage early. You have to fall onto the medium compound tyre, and that's Karma spinning again.
Yep. Yeah, it's Karma. Man, it's had a shocking start to the season, hasn't he?
Hasn't he, Walt? A man who won here last season in a McLaren in a full wet race is currently last in 16th position. Basically needs a safety car to help him out now. It's going to be tough to come back from that. Out in front though, Costa leading the way. Got the launch he needed from pole position. He's keeping Silderfort at bay. Plevs in P3, then ACW, then Ferrari Pro in P5. He's hustling the Mercedes-Benz in front. Then Spicy in P6, then Gilles, then Whitey, then Roscoe Arm, and Bags will round out the top 10. Other than that little bit of drama at turn 5, I think everyone's kept it relatively chill. Don't you think?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't see too much apart from those 2 cars just spinning over turn 5. Like you mentioned. But yeah, no, Costa, he's got a good launch. He's got nearly a 9/10 lead. No, actually over that, as a matter of fact. Taking a second. But no, he's done very well so far.
He's making the most of the track position. He's trying to pull away. Silderfort, he needs to do all he can to try and keep within a second, because Costa, we know what he can do out in front. He can just dominate a race.
Here comes Ferrari Pro. He's actually using all the battery, and he's going to go to the inside of ACW. Whoa. Does he go for the move? Can he get a sig? The ACW has the inside line for turn 8. Tries to hold it around the outside. ACW has the inside. Oh, his Ferrari Pro has a wiggle there as ACW manages just to stay ahead. But Ferrari Pro is still stuck on that Mercedes-Benz sandwich at the moment.
But no, Ferrari Pro and ACW did a really good job of not touching through that complex. Like, it gets really tight really quickly. But both drivers keeping it calm, keeping it professional early. Ferrari Pro, he's got pace. He's trying to make the most of it. He's just unable to get by ACW at this stage. But ACW showed full respect there. Didn't put him into the wall. The two didn't make contact. It was just really clean driving from both cars. It was really good to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Like that.
Anything else happening? We've got Roscoe Arm on the back of Whitey here, battling for P9. Got a bit of the train behind Bags Liddell with Nick, Andre, Chip, Pump. So we've got a few trains forming. It's just, with this street circuit, it's just so tough to pass without DRS. So everyone's just sort of stuck for now. Costa setting a new fastest lap. Can anyone beat that? Doesn't look like it at this point.
And also, Marcus Costa's up to a 1 second gap, so if he keeps that, he won't be under threat from Silderfort's DRS, at least for now.
And we know of Costa's battery saving ability, so he won't be consuming a great deal of resources at this point, I would think. There's Costa, our race leader, Silderfort behind in his home race, no less than Plebs, ACW, and there's Ferrari Pro on the attack. He is so low on battery, he's just hit 0, but he's overtaken ACW down the inside of turn 7. He's into P4. Yeah, he's low on battery. He's seriously low.
He's probably just pushing like crazy. Just furious at what happened during qualifying, getting blocked by 2 cars.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd imagine.
Driving with his emotions right now.
Well, the thing is too about Singapore too, is it's really hard to well, I know it is with these things now. It's hard to save battery, but in general, we've seen in the past, it's very hard to save battery around Singapore.
Mm.
Yeah, because if you're on low on battery, you're kind of screwed if you, let's say, are trying to pass a certain car in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really hard to overtake. Yeah.
So, and with these cars, that sort of fact is amplified. So, Ferrari Pro, he'll have a tough, like, he's on 11% right now, and I'm going to assume he hasn't switched it into overtake after he passed ACW. So, he's trying to harvest energy. It's going to take him an eternity to try and build up to, say, like, even 40, 50%. So, he just needs to be patient. But he is pulling away from ACW, and he's trying to close in on Plebs. Meanwhile, Silverford, he's half a second behind Costa. I reckon Costa might have made a little mistake somewhere.
Probably did somewhere in the final sector, because I noticed the gap was still hovering about over a second until that sort of... the gap went down a bit. But anyway, it's going to go down more because Silverford's got DRS. Yep,
closing to within 0.4 of a second of the race leader. Silverford is going to apply a fair bit of pressure here to Marcus Costa. It isn't the first time we've seen something like this. Initially happened all the way back in Zandvoort, where these two had a terrific scrap at the front of the field. It was absolutely fantastic to watch. It looks like we might have a similar scrap once again between these two cars, but Plebs, he's trying to hang on to the back end of these two.
Marcus Costa made a slight error there coming out of the chicane before the Anderson Bridge. That's a fast lap. Yeah, he lost maybe about a tenth and a half through there. Didn't lose much time, but he lost a little bit.
Yeah, you could tell from the Delta he lost about a tenth and a half to Silverford through that section. So, luckily for him, although the time loss isn't ideal, the most important thing is not getting damaged, because it is quite a tight section of a racetrack. It's a similar story here through the final sector. It's okay if you miss an apex or two, because the car behind can't pass. As Andre and Chip are currently battling for position. I think Andre has won that for now. But, yeah, you can miss an apex or two, because the car behind can't pass. Most important thing is keeping it out of the barriers. Because even if you touch it slightly and get lime wing green, yeah, sort of lime
green.
Yeah, wing damage. It can drastically affect the performance of the car. So you need to keep it out of the barriers. It's incredibly important to keep it out of the barriers.
Absolutely. But the top two have got a significant amount of battery, but meanwhile behind, these guys have not really got much battery. Well, that being Plebs and Ferrari Pro, but ACW's got more than them.
Yes.
And Spicy too.
So the two Mercedes, they're sort of in a conservative mode as it stands. Plebs and Ferrari Pro are pushing. It's understandable. Oh, as Karma's had another moment.
Yeah, he's gone to the wall at turn 18.
He gets going again. Yeah, it's going from bad to worse to a lot worse for Karma. He really does need a safety car at some point. I was going to mention with Ferrari Pro, it's understandable that he's dumped battery, because he's been trying to catch up to Plebs to get within DRS range, and he's done that now. So perhaps within this period, he doesn't need to spend as much battery. And there you go. It was a straw that broke the camel's back for Karma for that incident at turn 18. Karma has pulled the pin and retired out of the race. We're down to 15 cars now, which means everybody who finishes will end up scoring points. So now Plebs has actually lost time here. 1.1 seconds. Ferrari Pro is closing.
Oh, right, sector 3, 1 and 3 yellows because of Karma.
Correct.
Never mind that. Yeah, never mind that. I was like, wait, what is that? But yeah, no, Plebs has not got DRS. He was 1.1 seconds going into the section, and still mind that as well. And I imagine he's not going to get DRS in this area either.
Pato has spun. That is at turn 21.
That's at 21. Yep.
Alright, what does Ferrari Pro do here? It looks like he's going to try and attack. He's closing in on Plebs. Looks to the inside. He commits to it and gets on through. Plebs leaves the door wide open. He doesn't want to fight Ferrari Pro here. Just lets him through. Lets the overtake happen. He's going to let Ferrari Pro get on with it and try and catch up to the top two.
Yep, see if he can close that gap. He's got a bit of a gap though, about 1.6 seconds. Yeah,
but,
so that's
but as we
were
talking about it earlier, he might be driving in Angie mode. So, after what happened in qualifying, so I don't think the gap matters to him. Oh, but that might
still the Ford. Oh dear.
Ferrari Pro had a moment coming out of turn 13, and Plevs moved back into third.
I was reacting to Silverford because he also lost the back end too, coming out of that hairpin.
Ferrari Pro has to stay in fourth position. He had a run on Plevs out of turn 14, but he decided to back out of an overtake, which is probably the wisest thing to do in that situation. But yeah, a simple mistake there. Got on the throttle too soon at the exit of the hairpin, and that Ferrari did not like that. Lost control. But fortunately for Ferrari Pro, he kept it out of the barrier. And he's still running. But yeah, from the sense of things, Silverfort did something very similar.
Oh yeah, no, he did the exact same thing, but not as bad as what Ferrari Pro did to lose. Oh, his players went awfully wide there at turns 1 and 2. Caught all of that bit of the track. Well, not intentionally, probably just ran wide, but either way. But Ferrari Pro's got another chance.
Okay.
Get it.
Plevs versus Ferrari Pro take 2, I suppose. Around turn 6, up towards turn 7. Ferrari Pro's not close enough. Plevs has got enough straight line speed to hang on to P3.
That's a better exit too.
Around turn 9, heading up towards the Singapore Sling. 3.5 tenths separating these two. And not far behind them is ACW and Spicy just sitting back watching the show. But by doing so, they're allowing the top two to break away. The gap's now 2.9 seconds as Pato goes into pit lane. Guessing he might have damage on that AlphaTauri. Yeah, looks like
he does. Yep, he does. He's got front wing damage.
Unfortunate there. Costa out in front. Silverfort following behind. Both drivers relatively even in terms of pace and battery, it seems. So it's going to be an interesting fight at the front. Plevzo in P3 steadily losing time to the top two. Yellows are out at Tillez.
Yep, that's 17. Oh, hello, Ghosting.
Oh! That was tight.
Just like, no, Ian ghosted in front of Bags in an inconspicuous manner, I should say.
Yeah, that was close. A lot of cutting there from Hillers there at turn 22. That might have been a warning. Bags, can he attack the Haas driver? Doesn't look like it into turn 1. Roscoe Armour, he gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Probably got it at turn 2. That would be my educated guess. That tends to be a common place to get a warning. Either that or the exit of turn 3. That's another area where you can get a warning. He's currently sitting P8, and that time penalty won't be the best of things to deal with, especially if we have a safety car late in the race. So I wouldn't be surprised though if we saw more time penalties from the other drivers during this event. There are plenty of corners which you need to cut in order to find performance. If you cut just that little bit too much, you get a warning. Get 3 of them, you get a time penalty. So.
Yeah, you mentioned that too. Well, when we talk about that corner, those corners before the Anderson Bridge, it's funny how it used to be you could cut that corner with in the old games, but in this one you can't necessarily do that either because the curves are too tall.
Yeah, they've changed this circuit quite a bit between games, between F1 2021 and F1 22. It was quite a shock going around here for the first time because everything looked familiar, but in terms of driving, it was all completely different in terms of how much you could cut and where the traction zones were, because these cars, as many players know, have very limited traction. And this circuit is absolutely filled to the brim with traction zones. So it becomes incredibly noticeable. Yeah, it wasn't fun the first time driving around here, but you learn, you get used to it, as you normally do. Eventually, you just learn to put up with it. Now, Silverfort, he hasn't made any inroads on Marcus Costa. Not that I really think he wants to at this point. Just wants to stick behind, keep up with the race leader, save up some battery, and get ready for the mid phase, and probably more importantly, the final phase of the race when we get there. And we got a long way to go to get there. So,
yeah, if we continue like this, it'll probably be what will happen. Will the undercut or an overcut work for either one of these drivers if we get to that phase?
That's right. That's absolutely spot on. I don't really know which would work better, the overcut or the undercut. Obviously, the mediums, fresh mediums, are going to be pretty rapid, but you do need to get them up to temperature when you leave pit lane. So it will take a little while.
And not get into traffic.
That too. Because the field is starting to spread out. We're 9 laps in. The gap between 1st to 14th, because Pato, he's obviously out of sync because of the incidents he's had. That's the wrong one. Leader. Gap between 1st to 14th, 21.7 seconds. So it's pretty spread out at this point. And it's going to continue to spread until we have a safety car. If we have a safety car, of course. So yeah, pitting at the right time is probably going to be incredibly crucial. But I don't know which would be stronger. Undercutting onto the mediums or overcutting onto the mediums? I don't know.
I probably would say if you don't get traffic, you get clear air with the mediums. You definitely could pull off the undercut, I'd say.
You would think so.
You would think so, yeah. But the overcut could work in a sense, as Ross Grumman takes Whitey. Hello, a bit of a foursome there. But yeah, no, I know from previous games, I think the undercut has been the more efficient way to go. But again, I don't know what these things, and let alone I have not raced here yet, so.
Oh, Hillers has got a run here on Whitey. Whitey was very wide at turn 9. Unfortunately, turn 10 just isn't an overtaking spot. Neither is, well, any part of this section, except for maybe the hairpin. If you're feeling ballsy, you want to send it down the inside into this corner. It can work, but you need a lot of cooperation with the guy you're trying to overtake. Because it can turn very nasty very quickly at that hairpin. So.
Absolutely.
Well, back to this top. Well, the battle for P3. I was going to say top 3 battle. It's not top 3. It's a battle for P3. Coming around the final 2 corners and back onto the main straightaway. We've just crossed over the 1/3 mark. Still got 2/3 to go. Long race here at Singapore. Long race.
Yeah, for a 5-kilometer track. Of course, with it being so technical and so many corners, I guess you expect it to be this long.
Yeah, with incredibly low average speeds here. Yeah, the laps take forever. The only circuit that has a lower average speed on the calendar is Monaco. So, but with Monaco, it's not a 300-kilometer race. It's about 270 something. It's actually the shortest in terms of length on the calendar. That's why Monaco is a bit disguised in terms of its time.
Andres got into the wall.
Yep.
And that's brought a safety car.
You're kidding.
Hello. That's brought a safety car. Yeah, there's debris all over the racetrack.
You know, I commentated in the league last week at a race in Austria. You know about it, KD, but
yeah,
a Haas lost control twice, broke their front wing twice, and it brought out a safety car twice. Like, I don't get it. Maybe it's a Haas thing. Maybe when the Haas breaks their front wing, it brings out a safety car. Because when other people do it,
the game's just like, no.
Oh, whatever. Yellow flags. Not even a VSC. We got a full safety car. Proper safety car. But it's lap 11. I don't think anyone will pit. This will just bunch everyone up again.
Well, let's see. I don't... Oh, hello. Marcus thought about it.
I think he was just trying to bait.
Yeah, he's trying to fake
Plebs is in.
Oh, okay.
ACW's in. Spicy's in as well. I wonder what their game will be.
This early.
Mediums for the Mercedes. Mediums, I think. Yeah, they look like mediums for Plebs.
Well, what else you go to? You can't go to soft tire, obviously.
unless they know something we don't.
Well,
Nick stays out. Roscoe
I
Arms
don't even know
in. Bags is in.
Yeah, they're all going to the mediums.
I just-
What is?
yeah.
I'm wondering what the lifespan is then for the mediums. I'm curious.
No
If they're
idea.
pitting this early, they're gonna do like 20 something laps, at least less about. 20
Unless
laps.
there is like that rain period that we talked about.
Yeah.
And they're pitting onto medium tyres, so they have more grip now for when the rain comes. Like, it's so difficult to tell. Like, I can't see any rain anywhere. So...
Because we're in the night skies of Singapore. That's also another thing.
We're just sort of waiting for raindrops if there is any. And unfortunately, we haven't got a weather report. There we go. A message from Snickers. Yeah, you saw it too. 20 laps, he reckons. You can do on the mediums.
So it's doable, apparently.
Okay. If that is the case, then that's quite interesting. Because now all of these guys are a pit stop ahead of those in front. So, of course, that changes if we have another safety car at some point during this race. Now, Pato, well, yeah, he should be fine, Pato. I was just noticing he came into the pits. He just needed to be careful not to go a lap down. It's really important that he doesn't go a lap down.
Oh yeah, no, the safety car's too far away. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we got a long wait. Thanks to this.
Yeah, safety car periods take forever here, so...
Yeah. What would you say is the longest, well, in your opinion, is the longest? Would you say Singapore or Spa? In terms of being the longest of that?
Probably... Oh, goodness. Because, you see, the thing with Spa, in F1 cars, it's ridiculously quick. Because these things generate a billion trillion downforce, so they just remain glued around every corner. But in a road car, it completely changes, Spa. It becomes like a 2-minute lap. Whereas here, in the low-speed corners, a road car doesn't have a massive pace difference with a Formula 1 car. Unlike, say, a road car versus a Formula 1 car through the high-speed sweepers at Spa. There would be a massive difference between the two.
Right.
So, I'd imagine it would be close between the two laps in terms of safety car periods. I would just guess this is Hillers and Whitey are changing... Oh, wait, is that a broken wing on Whitey's car? I think it might be. Yeah, he's missing a wing.
Oh, well, okay. He's at the wall, apparently.
He must have, yeah. It's, if you care to notice, the shadow.
I was going to mention that. The shadow that's showing that if he has a front wing, which he doesn't, obviously. I love that that's still there.
I love this camera angle showing me the fat rear tyre. It literally tells me nothing. Ah, there we go. That's better. I hate some of these camera angles that they give you in the game. They're ridiculous. But yeah, the shadow of the front wing is still there.
Yeah, and I had the overhead shot of when they went through that section.
Yeah, there it is. That's funny. So he has to come in.
Yep, and get it fixed.
Yep. So.
Well, I mean, hey, well, I guess maybe the positive is he won't be a pit stop behind, in a sense.
Correct. But everything he's trying to do has been thrown out the window with either a mistake or he got caught up with somebody else. Maybe he hit the back of Ferrari Pro, I don't know. So, in he comes.
Yep.
He'll have most likely fresh medium tyres at the ready.
Pump's going in too.
Interesting. Why is he coming in? Set of mediums, I guess. Going to the same strategy as everyone else who was boxed.
Yep, no wing change either, so he didn't really have anything happen to him.
Yeah, so this is just a strategy call on his end. Pit onto these tyres now. Whitey, it wasn't a strategy call, it was repairs, urgent repairs. Pato, meanwhile, trying to catch up, doing his best. After all the incidents that he's been involved in, both with other cars and just by himself, he's got a bit of catching up to do. It's not been the race he was looking for here at Singapore. Looked incredible form at Spain, but yeah, that form hasn't quite translated over here at Singapore, unfortunately.
Nope.
So,
well, he'll have work to do. That's the only thing he'll have to do, at least.
yeah, and those soft tyres, yeah, I don't know what he's going to do on those tyres. So he's been pushing on them to try and catch up. He hasn't been pushing, but he hasn't been driving at safety car pace unlike everybody else. So his tyres would be fairly worn at this point. Not to mention that he will more than likely have to deal with tyre temperature issues as Chip and Nick have had a brief change of places. Nick's front wing's missing.
Again?
Yes, Nick's front wing is missing. Look, on the Alpine.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Oh my god, it is. I just got the angle.
Both
What?
Alpines have had their front wings destroyed during the safety car period. Is this Crashgate? Is that what this is?
Well, I don't know.
A conspiracy against Alpine?
Maybe. Wow. Well, that's throwing everything out the window for us, Nick.
Yeah, he'll be behind everybody and then some. Because he'll have a missing front wing. He has to go into the pits. Now. Marcus Costa out in front, getting those tyres ready, getting himself ready for the restart. Out of the final corner, onto the main straightaway. We're back on the green flag racing. It's lap 15 of 31. We're closing in on the halfway mark. Around turn 1. Into turn 2. Silderfort right behind the championship leader, as he was before the safety car period. But Ferrari Pro, he's right there. It started to rain. There are the drops. There they are on the halo. So it is going to rain.
Oh, yep, I see the streaks. Wow, well, I guess there was no point of them pitting anyways. Now they gotta go pit under the safety car period.
Well, that's what Nick has done. Right now, he is pitted onto the intermediate tyre. Now, obviously, it's too early. It's only just started to rain. So, he's taking a gamble because of the situation he's in. So what the medium runners were trying to do, for those who pitted onto the medium tyre, I should say, they were just trying to get onto fresh tyres, getting ready for this period in particular, when it started to rain. If only someone told us.
Yeah, yeah, it would be really nice. That kind of explains too why Pato was on the soft tyre, because
yes,
we've mentioned before, the most grippiest tyre you want in these sort of conditions is the soft tyre, obviously. So it makes a little sense what he's doing. But the mediums obviously will have a little more advantage, obviously, compared to the hard tire.
Yes.
Whereas the hard tires are going to be stone cold. When
Costa,
they go through
meanwhile, look at that gap. 2 seconds almost between the top two. So, Silverford not having the best of restarts. Maybe his car isn't liking these conditions too much. As Plevs, I thought he was on the attack there. He is right on the back of Chip, heading out of the final corner and onto the main straightaway. You look at him using his battery at the exit. See Chip's Ferrari pulling away as they head into turn 1. And you see at Plevs, he's nailing every apex. Through contact finish! Oh, they collide again! ACW and Plevs have come together once more. This time at turn 3. Unbelievable. Oh my giddy aunt. It's happened again.
Yep.
Those two need to have like a 1.5 meter sort of area around each other.
Maybe a restraining order for about a certain distance.
They just need to not be near each other. That is incredible.
Goodness.
It's happened again.
Oh,
Nick has retired in the pits. He's had enough.
Oh, poor fella. But, man, again.
Gee whiz. ACW now on the back of Chip. They're battling for P5. And look at the choo-choo train behind the Ferrari. My goodness. Everyone is tightly packed behind. Around
And he said he would try to...
Oh, here we go.
He would try to... Oh, here we go. Switchback. He's got it.
Yep, easily done there from ACW. Had plenty of speed to get by the Ferrari. Chip down to P6. Oh, it's alarming! Spicy! Oh, all over the back of the Ferrari. Up towards... go ahead, KD.
No, I was going to say that earlier he said he wasn't going to... Oh, hang on. I'll hold that thought again. DRS is disabled. DRS is now disabled.
There's the call from the race control. And here comes... Oh, Ferrari Pro. He was thinking about it. Roscoe Arm on the attack. Can he get by Chip? He can. He's into P6. Bags are down on the attack. Oh, it's almost 3 wide around turn 3. Spinning in the background goes Whitey. He and Pato collect one another at the hairpin. Into turn 5. Goodness. Carnage is starting to begin here as they head down the straightaway towards turn 6. Spicy in the slipstream. Bags overtaking Andre. Down the inside here at turn 7. And he gets through into P7.
Just like that. Yeah, left the door open there. Bags behind the Ferrari still. Oh, this is tight. Oh, hello there. That's a bit of a moment for salami.
Out of turn 9. Goodness. Bags has got to run, but they're heading up towards the Singapore Sling. You can't pass here, I'm afraid. You have to stay behind. Up towards the chicane. Turns 11 and 12. Look at Bags. He's all over the back of the Ferrari. Chip has got no pace on these tyres. It's understandable because the conditions are definitely getting worse. Plebs has overtaken his teammate. Here comes Bags. He's got no DRS, but he's got grip on those medium tyres. Down the inside he goes. Oh, he only just pulls it up.
That was close. I thought he would run into the wall there.
It was very close.
Well done.
Oh, lock up there from Andre. Big lock up. Plebs is right behind him. So it's Bum. Oh, almost into the wall at turn 17. But Andre keeps it out of the barrier. Did the leaders pit?
No, Marcus isn't pitting. Marcus is not
doesn't.
pitting.
Hilles is.
No, what? Oh, here we go. Pitting this. I am shocked by that.
He went into the wall. Oh my goodness, Hilles hit the wall at pit entry. He slammed into it.
No, that's Andre. That's Andre. Andre's gone into the wall. It was Andre, not Hilles.
No, Hilles definitely went into the wall. I was on board with him when he did it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was on the other. No, Andre did the exact same thing then.
Oh my goodness me, it's all kicking off.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, Hilles, Spicy, they have moved on to the intermediate tyre. Have they moved on to it at the right time? You can see the rain is definitely coming, but is the track wet enough for this tyre? There's no obvious spray.
Time, by the way. Yeah, but Marcus, look at this. Yeah. Marcus losing time though. He's at 1.2. What was the gap before that?
About 2 seconds. Here comes ACW.
Right, Pro.
Roscoe Arm closing in as well as they head into the Singapore Sling. Roscoe Arm right behind the Ferrari.
I think there's spray coming out too, I think. Or at least that might be wrong. I think there might be a tiny bit of spray coming out of ACW's tyres.
Oh, ACW does not get a great run. So here comes Ferrari Pro. Down this straightaway towards turn 14. He gets in front. I think ACW rolled out of the throttle there. He didn't want to battle Ferrari Pro. So he just backed out. Oh, Roscoe Arm. Big old slide there.
Jeez.
Now.
But yeah, I was going to say before, ACW said before that he would try not to make contact with plebs. That's what I was trying to say back then. Apparently that didn't happen.
He did exactly that.
Yeah.
Around turn 21. Leaders are still staying out. Into the pits goes Roscoe Arm. He goes in. Yellows are out. It's Chip. Had a moment there at turn 14.
Bags is coming. Yeah, and well, Bags is coming in too. So him and Roscoe Arm are pulling the plug.
So they don't want to stay out on slick tyres anymore. They want the intermediates here and now.
I think the interiors are the better tyre because look at the grip level compared to Hilles and Pato as Pato goes in. Oh, he overshoots the pit lane. Goes over the pit lane bumps.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Look at that. It's Pato's retired. He's had enough, apparently.
He's had enough, yeah. He's had enough of these conditions. He's had enough of this race. He's out. He's done for today. Meanwhile, ACW is now into 3rd position. Ferrari Pro down to 4th on those hard tyres. He has no grip. He is skating all over the circuit. It's almost as if he's driving on ice out there. And it's looking like it. You can see the reflective light, the sheen on the racetrack. There's definitely plenty of moisture on the circuit now.
And Hillers is the quickest guy on track, along with Spicy and the rest behind him.
All right, they need to pit.
I think Hillers might overtake the leading pack here, and same with Spicy here.
Oh, spinning goes Ferrari Pro. He spins out of the hairpin. Oh my goodness!
Has it got damaged though?
No, it was a perfect pirouette. He kept it out of the walls.
Okay.
And I think Whitey might have had a moment as well when I wasn't looking. I think the leaderboard covered it up, but I think he might have had a moment. Oh, pull it up! Oh, he kept it out of the wall.
Wow, that's close. I think Hill is on for the lead. That's what I think is happening.
He is gaining on the car in front quite considerably.
Yeah, well, look at what the map is compared to the leaders.
Yeah.
He's coming around to the grandstand, and they're just approaching the pit lane entry.
Marcus
is still staying out!
So is everyone else. ACW's in now. Plev stays out.
What's the race work?
I wonder, is it going to dry up?
Maybe.
Is that why they're staying out?
That could be a good reason for it.
Like they're trying to get through this incredibly tricky period, wait for the rain to end, for the track to dry up, and then move on to whatever tyres they need to for the end.
As the rain also has slowed down a bit.
It still trickles of it on the halo, so it hasn't stopped completely. If it stops, that's the indication it's going to dry up soon. So.
Right.
No, there's still trickles on the halo. That'll be the important thing to keep an eye out for. Yeah, Hillez is flying on those tyres. So is Spicy behind.
Yeah, no, he's catching. They are both catching. Yeah, they are so much quicker compared to the front. If they pit now, they are going to be so far behind the intermediate runners.
Here comes Hillez.
Not there!
Oh. He almost hit the inside wall. Whitey has to run wide. Be overtaken by 2 cars. He's down to P8. Bit risky there from Hillez to try and go for that move.
Let alone that's an area you don't normally overtake.
I know.
At the Singapore sling. Yeah.
Contact between Plebs and Silderfort. Oh my goodness. The two make contact at the entry to turn 16. Silderfort almost went into the wall. Plebs definitely went into it. Down the inside he goes.
Inside.
And through he goes.
Made it work. How on earth did he pull that off?
Full on aggression here from Plebs. He wants to get a move on those tyres.
No kidding.
And
there goes Spicy on Ferrari Pro. Well, Hillis did the same thing as well at that same corner too. Well, before that, I should say.
I believe Roscoe Arms overtaken Whitey too, so he's into P8.
And that's Ferrari Pro in. Staying out. Yep, he's given up on those hard compounds.
And there's still raindrops on the halo of Hillez. Still some on pump. Whitey. Oh! Safety car!
Safety car!
What for?
What?
Why do we have a safety car? Why is this coming out?
I don't know. Oh, I see why. ACW! Oh.
No, Whitey's missing a wing. He is missing a full wing.
Oh, goodness.
I reckon he must have hit the pit lane wall.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was going to say, why say ACW too, but it's because he's missing an end plate. Maybe that was part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe excessive debris. Are you sure with ACW? His front wing looks okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I'm being silly.
Is it Spicy then? Or...
No. That's just... I thought there was an end plate missing on ACW's car.
Yeah, his car looks okay. So it must have been Whitey. He's lost his front wing at pit entry. I hazard a guess he slammed the wall that divides the main straight and the pits. He just understeered into it. And from that, a safety car has been deployed. Very similar to what happened with Andre, I believe it was. Destroying his front wing. And that brought out a safety car, so...
Well, it was it would have been one of the Haas's, because remember, Hillis did the exact same thing that you saw. I saw Andre do that as well, the exact same thing. It could have been either both of them or one of either way. We all get the same story. But this is going to get interesting now.
It is still raining as well.
Yeah. You got to pit for the interiors. You have to.
Here comes Costa.
Well, let's see what he does.
Bloods in too.
Unless they think maybe go soft tires because of the conditions, maybe when it lights up.
That is an option. That is an option. What have
Pump
they got?
Out, by the way.
Soft tires for Plez. Soft tires. Interesting calls going on here in Singapore. Mediums for Costa.
Mediums for Costa. Right. And Hellas is changing his front wing.
And onto medium tyres he goes. He's not sticking around on the intermediates. So I'm guessing that it is going to dry up. It's still raining. You can see the droplets here and there. Going on board here with Ferrari Pro, there's still definitely droplets. So what a peculiar race we're having.
Wonder if maybe the rain will stop towards the end of like you did
Oh, hang on. No, it stopped right now. Look at the halos. Oh. There's no rain.
Yeah, the cars are now, they don't have any spots, water spots.
It is dry now. Oh, well, drying now.
Drying conditions. Pump's the initial race leader then, if this is the case.
Well, he's made a pit stop, hasn't he? Yeah, he's definitely made a pit stop.
He stopped a long time ago.
8 laps ago, yeah. So, he's our race leader. Proper race leader. And
effectively.
What is happening? So everyone who has stayed out on intermediates have shot themselves in the foot?
I think so.
They need to pit now. They need to pit now. They cannot wait. At all.
So it's going to be, well, if they pit now, what will be? Pump, then Marcus, Plebs, Stildeford, and
then Spicy.
Hillis. Spicy, yeah. That's like the top 5 initially, I think.
What a strange race we're having.
This is flipping interesting.
So yeah, every single one of these intermediate runners need to pit now. They cannot afford to stay out on those tyres during these conditions. They just can't. They're a pit stop behind now. They need to come in.
Let's see. Ross goes in. Yep, and Bags, and ACW.
They need to pit now.
Yep.
While they have the opportunity to do so. Because at the very least, they can catch up to the train and still try and battle for position. Saw soft tyres for a few cars. Soft tyres, I believe, for Roscoe. Yeah, they're softs. Everyone appears to be moving on to the soft compound for this final stint of the Grand Prix. Whitey's come in too. Neil put on a set of softs.
Soft tyres.
5-second penalty being served as well.
What a unbelievable race we're having.
Huh. Interesting. So we now got 5 cars on mediums. Everyone else is on fresh-ish, or maybe completely fresh soft tyres. I'm not certain. Some of them might be on quali rubber. Some of them might have saved the set for the race. Because obviously you're allowed 4 sets of soft compound tyres. You can use all 4 sets during qualifying. You can save sets if you really want to. Maybe somebody has. And then they're in this prime position at this end phase of the race to just go ham on fresh rubber. So.
Well, only one way to find out. Pump, though, has got the oldest tyre life out of anybody with 9 lap-old mediums.
Yeah. He's got a tyre deficit to deal with, but he's got track position. If he can get the restart spot on, he's in a position where he can try and win this. It won't be easy. You've got Marcus, Plez, and Sildeford directly behind you. 2 of them, or rather one of them, is on soft compound tyre. Plez on softs, Spicy on softs. This is going to be fairly interesting. We'll just be waiting on Whitey to catch up. And I think at the rate he's going, we might have a late safety car call. Might.
Well, hopefully it doesn't go right when they're at the pit entry, because that would screw a lot of things up.
Well, he needs to get within 10 car lengths, and then the safety car will disappear back into the pits. It's gonna be close.
I don't think it'll go in.
Yeah, I think we're alright. So we'll have one more lap behind the safety car, and then we go ham.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna expect some fireworks at the end of this Grand Prix.
Aren't we ever?
But the fact that we have 13 cars left, so I mean, doesn't matter the size of the field as long as you got the racing at the upper quality. And drama too.
Yeah, everyone will know, so long as you finish you will score, so you can fight for something here at the end of this race. So they'll have that in the back of their mind, but I'm thinking a fair few drivers are eyeing P1. I reckon a few drivers are thinking they can win this if they get the restart right. So...
Plebs, since he's the one on the soft, the leading soft runner, he's got to get that restart spot on and pass the two cars in front of him.
Yeah.
Mind you, his teammate too. So.
Yeah, Plebs, I reckon he'll try and get by ASAP. He'll play aggressive, try and get through. But he knows that Marcus isn't going to be an easy guy to pass. So.
Oh yeah.
Silverfort P4, Spicy P5. And,
well, at least from the Goldfish in fourth, at least.
No, I agree with you, Jared, in the comments. Soft tyre can be a bit ambitious, considering we still got a fair few laps to go, even when we get back under green flag racing. We got 7 laps. Safety car is in this lap. We got 7 laps to get through. That's a lot of laps on the soft tyre. And we mentioned before that tyre temperatures around here are very difficult to control. And that's especially noticeable on the soft tyre. So Plebs and everyone else on the soft tyre has to cope with that. But they got the outright pace here and now. So they kind of need to make the most of it. This is going to be interesting. I've got no idea what's going to happen. No clue.
Well, only one way to find out. We've got 7 laps to go.
Pump out in front, getting his tyres up to temperature, getting ready for the restart. The safety car is making its way towards pit entry. There it is, ducking off into pit lane. Costa, he's not weaving anymore. He's getting ready for Pump to get on the accelerator and begin the restart. There he goes, around the final turn, back onto the main straightaway. It's lap 25 or 31. 7 laps to go. Down the main straight towards turn 1. Costa closes in, not by enough to try and attack the race leader. Through turn 2, into turn 3. Plebs is on the attack. He is right up behind Costa's gearbox as Ferrari Pro gets a 3-second time penalty. Down towards turn 5. Plebs looks to the inside. He goes for it. Contact, I believe, between the 2 cars. And Costa hangs on to P2. Only just so. As they head around turn 6. Up towards turn 7. Will Plebs go for it here? He's not close enough to send it in. He stays in P3. ACW overtakes Andre. That was for P11. Into turn 8 we go. Silverfort right behind this as well. Same with Spicy and Hillers. Then Chip. Roscoe Arm, Bags, Liddell, and Ferrari Pro rounding out the top 10.
Oh, Marcus hit the wall! He's hit the wall! Marcus hit the wall a little bit. I don't know if he's got damage from that. I think he got away with it. But yeah, he tapped a bit of the wall at the exit of turn 9.
Coming out of turn 11. He doesn't look too affected as of right now. Into the hairpin. Plebs closes in. Coming out of 13. He'll switch on overtake. Roscoe Arm and Chip are battling for position as well. Here we go. Down towards 14. Plebs not close enough to send it in just yet. Oh, look at this 2x2 heading into turn 14. Chip in front of Roscoe.
Oh, that's been from Ferrari Pro.
He catches it though.
Yeah, he's lucky. I thought he would have gone into the wall there and collected somebody. He's lucky.
Underneath the grandstand, Roscoe Arm hangs on to P7, Chip in P8, then Bags, then ACW, then Ferrari Pro. It's a tight train towards the midfield. Here at the front, though, Plevs trying to find a way by. Costa on the back of Pump. It's now lap 26. We have got 6 laps to go. Down the main straightaway, towards turn 1. Plevs closes in deep. That was close between those two. I don't think they made contact. I think they kept off each other. I think. Costa, he's got speed, but he just can't quite find a way by at the moment. Similar story with Plevs as they head towards turn 6. Plevs won't be close enough to attack. Neither is Costa. Pumper's got some decent straight line speed in that McLaren. He's doing well. Silverford just hovering behind. Same with Spicy and Hilles as these fellas head around turn 8. Heading up towards 9. Pump made a mistake. A small wiggle there at 8. A small wiggle again at turn 9 as they head down towards the Singapore Sling. Costa's going to try and go for it. No, he backs out of it. A wise decision there. You do not want to go side by side through there. It's basically suicide if you go side by side through there. Over the bridge. Into the hairpin of turn 13. Plevs closing in under brakes. Under traction at the exit. Costa gets a nice run. And here we go. He's sitting right behind Pump. Does he look to the inside? He does. Sends it in. Pump holds it round the outside, but he doesn't have the grip to continue the fight. Contact again. And Pump. He's overtaken by Plevs. Plevs into P2. Yellow flags are at its ACW spinning at turn 14. Back to the leading group. Costa now out in front. Plevs in P2. Yellows are out again. It's Bags Liddell in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, he was letting the ACW through. There was probably contact between the two, I'm guessing.
Okay, understandable. So a bit of a redress there from Bags, I would assume. Out to the final turn, down the main straightaway. There's the call from race control. DRS is now enabled, and that's going to spice things up even more here at the front of the field. Costa desperately trying to hang on. He's using all the racetrack through the opening sector, but Plevs on those soft tyres is gaining. He's closing in on the Williams driver. Around turn 5 we go. Oh, Costa gets a nice one. Too good, in fact.
He's at the wall.
And here comes Plevs with a whole heap of speed. Looking round the outside at turn 6. That turns to the inside at 7. They're wheel to wheel. Plevs gets in front. He's into the race lead. Costa tries to fight back into turn 8. But Plevs covers the inside line. He parks the bus and gets in front. He's into the race lead. Pump hovering behind. 6/10 off. Oh, Costa almost goes into the wall again. My goodness. Silverford right behind Pump. 2/10 separating these cars. Costa's losing time. He is definitely losing time to Plevs now. He lost a few tenths through that section. He'll get DRS here down this straightaway as Silverford gets by Pump into P3. Hilles gets by Spicy into P5. It's a drag race. Here we go. Down into 14. Yellows are out as well at 13. It's an Alpine. It's Whitey. Around turn 15. Into turns 16 and 17. Hilles right behind Pump now. Pump, he's a sitting duck on those tyres. He doesn't have the pace on those old rubber. He just needs to hang on. That's all he can do.
I wonder if Marcus has got damage. I think he might have damage or something. Look at the time he's losing.
He's now 1.1 seconds behind. Plevs sets a new fastest lap. Now, granted, Plevs is on the soft tyre, so
yeah, true.
He has got pace. Here comes Hilles, though. Spicy just behind. They don't battle into turn 1. Through turn 2. Into turn 3. Costa's still losing time. I won't throw your theory out the window yet, though, KD. I reckon Costa, he might be in trouble. He's still losing time. Here we go. Down the straightaway towards turn 6. Hilles closing in on Pump. Looking to the inside here.
Oh, contact too! They made contact on the straight then.
Oh, running wide is Roscoe.
It's Roscoe. Yep.
Oh, tight.
Wow! Trying to make him turn 8.
Yeah, that was never ever going to work. Fortunately, the two cars did not make contact. But now Pump has to deal with Spicy. He is being just this orange mobile chicane out there. Here at Singapore, those tyres are not servicing him well. Over the bridge, up towards the hairpin. Ferrari Pro on the attack. Spicy covers hard there at turn 13. Keeps P6 only just so.
Good defense there from Spicy, nonetheless.
The Ferrari Pro not giving up on this fight, though. He is low on battery. He's on 3% as of right now. Heading through This section, a cascade of 90-degree corners, all of them one after the other. Can't pass through here, you can only lose time. Everyone following one another. Nice and perfectly. Out of 21, up towards 22 and 23. Marcus, he sort of evened out the gap now. 1.6 behind. He hasn't lost any more ground. But does he have the laps remaining to try and close in on the race leader Plebs? That is the question.
He's got 3 laps to go.
3 long laps at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Needs to set some pretty mega lap times to try and catch up to Plebs. And then he's got the difficult task of trying to overtake him.
Which won't be easy. Meanwhile, speaking of someone that's trying to, Spicy. Oh, not quite. Not close enough.
He was thinking about it, but couldn't really commit to it. Seems that my statement with Marcus is a bit wrong. He's lost time still. 1.8 seconds is now the gap between him and Plebs. He is not able to close in through the corners. He's just losing time, and he doesn't have battery to try and attack. Neither does Plebs, to be absolutely fair. He's on 11% compared to Marcus with 21. Silverfort P3. And he's got a 1.5 second margin to Hilles in P4. Then Pump in P5. Spicy still trying to find a way by in P6. Ferrari Pro just behind in 7th. Same with Roscoe Arm in 8th. In fact, it's a 6-car train for P5 as it stands. Unfortunately, 2 of them have time penalties. Those being Ferrari Pro and Roscoe Arm. Heading through the chicane. Turns 16 and 17. Up towards the grandstand section of turn 18. Spicy closing in, not by enough. Oh, hello, Ferrari Pro.
Roscoe? Oh, I thought Roscoe would try to get through.
I thought so too, but didn't end up to fully commit to try and pass Ferrari Pro there. Not that you could really pass through that section to begin with.
Well, speaking of someone that's trying to... Oh, I thought Spicy would. He thought about it. ACW's overtaking Chip, by the way.
That's for P9 on track.
Yep.
It's a nice run up towards turn 5. I think Spicy, he'll have him here, surely. DRS, using whatever battery he's got left. Pump can't fight this, surely.
Yeah, he's going to go for the inside move.
Gets
it done, maybe? Oh, hello there, Ferrari Pro. Oh, the run by him! Oh, my goodness!
Contact into the wall!
There's the wall! Oh, my goodness me!
And he's now got a missing front wing. He is missing a front wing.
Oh, my goodness, he's got to be very careful how to get through these cars. Yeah. Oh, my, he had the run of all runs out of turn 7, but unfortunately he got squeezed out by Spicy. Oh, my goodness me.
This is a race where Ferrari Pro demonstrated a whole heap of pace, but he's been screwed over somewhat by other drivers. He is not going to be a happy chappy after this one, I'd imagine.
That's very unfortunate.
Out in front, Plebs leading the way. 2.1 seconds to Marcus Costa. He's got one more tour of the racetrack to complete. He comes around 22 and 23 and begins the final lap. Lap 31 of 31 of what has been one of the more interesting Singapore Grand Prix I've seen in my commentary career. Costa, there's not much he can do anymore except just accept second place and get to the finish. He's got Silderfort within a second. It's going to be tough for Silderfort to close in as Whitey has a moment. Ferrari Pro pits in for a new front wing. Pretty much accepting his fate that he's going to finish towards the back. Oh, meanwhile, though, ACW closing in on Pump. Sure, Pump will be pretty happy with the top 10 finish. He'll try and hang on to P6 if he can, but ACW, I should say, right behind. Try and get by as soon as possible, but he hasn't closed in quite enough just yet. And he's going to run out of opportunities. It's going to be tough to pass in that final sector. He might have a run at turn 13. His realistic only shot from here on out is turn 14. Doesn't quite have the run, though. Try and pass.
Yeah, I think that Soft might have just lost its performance just right about there.
Well, the gap now between the top two is 1.5 seconds. Plevs has backed off quite considerably. Few more corners remain for Plevs. Out of turn 21. Up towards 22 and 23. He gets around them in one piece. He'll take the checkered flag and win the Singapore Grand Prix by 0.7 of a second at the end of this race. Silderford will end up finishing P3, completing the podium places. Marcus Costa did all he could, but he would ultimately finish in second. Hillers P4, Spicy P5, then Pump in P6, ACW in 7th, Chip in 8th, Andre in 9th, and Bags who round out the 10, followed by Roscoe Arm, Ferrari Pro, and Whitey.
Wow.
Well,
That's one word to put it. Yeah, that's one way you can put it. I think they've said wow a lot of them this season, but this is definitely a wow race, for sure.
In terms of most position gained, goes to Pump and Chip. They made up 8 places each.
Pro's done.
Well, that's not a very intelligent thing to do there, because he's now going to finish behind Whitey. That's going to cost him a place. And that's crucial because he's in the championship fight.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the other incidents that he's been caught up with, incidents thanks to other drivers with that, I think that's just silly. Plev's given driver of the day for his performance over the course of this race. And he'll be the man walking down the corridor of celebration for the first time in Season 7 Elite Series. He takes victory at one of the most demanding circuits of them all here at Marina Bay. He's our winner of the Singapore Grand Prix. Marcus Costa, our championship leader, second. Third place goes to home hero Silderford. So, the unofficial results of the Singapore Grand Prix. Plevs is your race winner from starting 4th. He ends up winning, also claiming fastest lap. Marcus Costa put the car on pole, didn't ultimately end up in victory lane, missing out by 0.7 of a second at the end of this one. Silderford will complete the podium places in P3. Hillers is next in P4, followed by Spicy in 5th, then Pump, ACW, Chip, Andre, and Bags Liddell rounds out the top 10. Roscoe on P11, then Whitey, then Ferrari Pro, who will be classified even with his silly crash at the line. Our retirements from the race: Chiefos Pato, Nick, and Karma. Well, there we are. Singapore Grand Prix to remember. Definitely one of the more interesting ones that I have witnessed in my time. So, somewhat enjoyed that one.
Yeah, what was cool too about it is that we had mixed strategies, thanks to the weather being in effect.
Yeah, that's right.
At least.
And that
helped it out.
Created a lot of confusion and a lot of excitement for us watching, because we had no idea what was happening next. And what ended up happening was a pretty interesting final few laps, thanks to a safety car period that came when it stopped raining. It just shook things up completely. Now we'll get to the virtual showroom. That's a McLaren. And I'll go blue screen for a moment, folks. Get the top 3 in, we'll do some interviews. Add players. All 3 of them should appear online, hopefully. There's Elliot. There's Marcus. Oh, is Pleb's not appearing online? Or have I just missed him? He's not appearing online. This is a problem with having lots of friends. Oh, hang on. No, I'm going to have to use this. Elemento, per. There we go. Yeah, quite right. So the fort, 'twas quite a race.
Speaking of which, hello, goldfish man.
What? Yeah, neat helmet.
Yeah. I gave you a nickname for you because of your helmet.
Hello?
But yeah, no. Hello.
Oh, we can hear you. Yeah, you like my helmet? Today?
Yeah, no, it was a nice helmet.
Yeah.
Don't think in real
not
life
a
the
goldfish,
FIA would allow something like that, but it's a nice helmet.
It's not a goldfish, by the way. It's a koi fish.
A koi
is
fish.
Mine looks
it
like a
koi?
goldfish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it was goldfish. Well,
It looked pretty gold, and it looked pretty fishy, so I think it's fair to assume that it was a goldfish. So,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Congrats, Plebs.
hello, plebs. Welcome back to Victory Lane.
Thank you.
When was the last time you were at Victory Lane for Elite Series, plebs?
Last round of last season.
That's right.
It was
Abu Dhabi.
Mm.
So a little while.
Yeah,
That's a while.
because I've been dog shit this season.
Well, evidently you weren't too bad here, as it turns out.
Not too bad.
And you had an interesting... I think everyone had a fairly interesting race at the end of that one, so... That's, we'll just be waiting on Marcus. Has Marcus joined us when I haven't been looking, or is he not here yet?
No.
Did you see the move around the outside of the final corner on Ferrari Pro?
I probably missed a whole heap of stuff.
So
We
good.
caught some interesting stuff, though. We definitely caught some interesting stuff, but I don't think we caught that, because that doesn't quite sound right. We'll tell you what, we'll let Marcus join if he wants to, or if he can.
I'll tag him for you.
But, we'll start the interviews. Oh, there he is.
Here he is.
Hello, Marcus.
Hey guys.
Hello. Welcome back again. You're becoming a regular. Oh, but we'll start the interviews now. We'll move from third. We'll move away up per the norm. So we'll start with you, Silver Fort. A podium at your home race. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, considering what happened in the middle of the race, yeah, pretty happy. That was so tough. Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I never want to do that again, man.
Yeah, mixed conditions at Singapore.
On
Yeah,
both huts.
yeah,
Disgusting.
not fun. Definitely not fun. But before the race, how was qualifying on your end?
A little bit disappointed because I knew I had a little bit more time in me.
Yep.
I got distracted by Hilles before the start of my lap, so that didn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, P2 at the end of the day, 1.5 tenths off pole position, so
I
not
got
too
before by
displeased.
10s, so
Well,
yeah.
front row.
But
So.
front row's not bad.
But unfortunately, couldn't quite take the lead into turn one. Marcus got you off the start.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to get this. Since we're both on hards, it's difficult to get a jump on him.
Mm.
Yeah, considering I'm second as well. Yeah, but Pleb's got a good start. I saw he was right on the back of me. Yeah, then I ran wide, so yeah, Plebs had a good start. But yeah, I don't think I was in a winning position the whole race, because it's so hard to overtake here.
Mm.
And even if I tried the overcut or the undercut, I don't think I would have been in front either way. So yeah.
But no, you were just sticking behind Costa through that beginning phase of the race, just sort of keeping up, pulling away from everyone behind. Was it just sort of conservative driving, just try and keep up a rhythm, not make a mistake?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Costa had some pace. I was sweating my ass off trying to keep up with him. Yeah, and he was making mistakes. I saw him hitting the wall and getting oversteered, and I was still struggling to keep up with him. So yeah.
But then had the first safety car come around.
First safety car.
You stayed
Second-
out.
second- Oh yeah, I stayed out. Because I knew there was gonna be some rain, and also there was no way that the mediums could make it to the end. So I just stayed out and conserved my tires. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then the rain came.
And then the rain came. Oh, well, at least this game is realistic with the weather, because that's literally how the rain works here. becomes for like torrential rain for like 5 minutes and then it goes away.
Okay.
Then it's sunshine again. Yeah.
But no,
Yeah,
that
but
was
that
an
was-
interesting period watching you lot drive on slicks in greasy conditions. I bet it was pretty nerve-wracking out there for you.
Yeah, because Mark was being a total dimwit, the engineer. He was saying all sorts of things like it's
Yeah.
gonna be full wets, then the rain's gonna go away, and then the rain's gonna come back. Like it's so confusing.
You can't trust Mark.
Yeah, Mark, what is he doing, man? Honestly, yeah.
Mark is literally about as useful as a wet towel. He just does nothing right. So
Yeah, I kept asking him every lap about the weather condition, and he said that inters and dries were on the same pace. So I just I tried to stick. Yeah, I did stick it out.
yeah,
Until it was dry. Yeah.
and then
That was lucky that the third safety car was so lucky for me and Marcus. Yeah. And plebs, yeah.
yeah, that second
That's
safety
lucky.
car period, you elected to pit onto the medium compound tyre. Did you feel like you made the right call? Oh wait, did you pit on the soft tyres or did you pit on the medium?
I wasn't
He was on the mediums.
He was on the medium. I was right.
definitely not.
I think
not
I
the right
confused you
choice after I saw
with
this.
Spicy just briefly. I think he went onto the soft tyre in the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right call, yes, no, maybe?
No, it was definitely wasn't the right call. Softs were the better tire at the end. 100%. Yeah.
But was it much of a struggle on those mediums?
No, but it was pretty easy to drive around. Yeah, I knew all I had to do was get past pump
Yeah.
and to maximize my points because there was no way in hell I was catching up to Marcus or Plebs. Yeah, I was having fun though watching the battle between them. That was quite fun.
Fair enough.
Watching at the back.
But,
Yeah.
KD, have you got anything to ask Silverfall?
Well, that's a statement, but I'm like I mentioned in the Discord, you already saw it, but I'll put it to the audience. I'm going to investigate your helmet because the fins are extremely illegal. Why do you need the extra aerodynamics? That's very illegal. But no, how tricky was it though for you? Obviously, you run the hard tire at the start, and then once the rain came, I probably would imagine your hards were extremely rough.
It was.
Yeah. Did you? What was the temperature? Did you get a look of it by any chance?
No, I was just focusing on the track, but yeah, I was like steering a boat. It was it was not fun at all, bro. It was, yeah, I had a oversteer in the final chicane. Then Ferrari Pro got alongside me in the
Right.
wet, so we went side by side through the final corner in the wet on old hards. I need to send that clip because that was awesome, and I got a trophy for that. That was my 250th overtake in this game.
Oh, well, there you go.
I got a trophy midway.
Around the
Like, I was
outside, in the wet, at Singapore.
halfway through the corner and I got a trophy.
Oh my.
that
Jeez whiz.
was class.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I'm not sure if I caught that. I don't think I did, unfortunately.
And
think
I'll
we-
send the clip
I don't
because
think
it
we
was crazy. It was quite crazy, yeah.
But, one final question for you, Silverfort. Next week we're heading over to Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. How do you feel heading into next week?
Oh, I love Suzuka. I don't even care if I'm last. That track is so fun. It's amazing to drive.
It is a
Yeah.
proper driver's racetrack, isn't it? A lot of flowing corners. When you get it
Yeah.
right, it's a lot of fun. When you get it wrong, the track doesn't like you. So,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
best of
yeah.
luck then for next week. But congratulations on a podium finish. Here at your
My
home
home race. Let's go.
Now you can
Thank
go off and watch the real live one. So,
I don't have tickets.
oh
It was sold out.
no.
I'll just cry at
no.
home. But I went there yesterday. I went there yesterday, so it's not all that bad.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
mentioned you had a track walk there.
Yeah,
you
I had a
reckon
track
you
walk.
found pace with that track walk? You reckon you found
I
the level?
put a banana peel on one of the curbs.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Little Mario
How far
Kart
away?
trick.
How far are you from the racetrack?
About I think like 15 kilometers. It's like 20 minutes subway ride.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Well,
I mean,
then,
my country is like super small, so it doesn't really matter where you are.
no. Again, best of luck next week for you, Silverfault. But for now, congratulations on the P3.
Yep.
We'll move on to P2. Marcus, mate, that was another tidy performance on your end. Well done. Put the car on pole position. Were you happy with the lap time, or was there more on the table?
Oh yeah, I was certainly stoked with that lap, considering I made about an 8/10 improvement. I was doing that lap, and I'd never been so focused in my life in a qualifying session in a league race. And I was going into the final couple of corners up about 7.5 tenths, knowing that one little error and it's all down the toilet.
Yep.
And I kept it together and put it on pole, and yeah, I was very happy with that. Quite verbal as well.
Well done.
Quite verbal about it.
We managed to capture, I believe, your final sector of that flying lap. Did keep it well within the lines, kept up good speed too. 35.9, I believe it was, at the end of qualifying. You were the only driver in the 35, so well done. But
Thank you.
P1 start for you, and you had a nice, tidy start on your end. Kept the lead around turn 1. But,
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of trouble getting my tyres up to temperature because I was actually running minimum pressures across all tyres, so the warm-up was quite horrific, but I ran a low on-throttle diff just for the start, just to make sure I could get the power down.
Bit irritating to have Silverford on your butt the whole time.
Oh no, it was okay. I wasn't too stressed with him behind because I had about 60% battery, no warnings. I was just cruising along, ticking the laps down.
Yep. First safety car came about, and you and Silverford did the same thing. Didn't bother pitting in for new tyres. Then safety car restart looked pretty tidy on your end as well. Kept it out of trouble, maintained the lead. I don't think the real drama started for you until the rain came about and the second safety car period came as well. But how tough was it for you in those intermediate conditions?
That rain was very interesting because I was looking at the weather forecast pre-race on the grid, and it said there was no rain. It said there was a little bit of cloud towards the end, but it started raining slightly, and I was very confused. I had to check weather report, and it said there's going to be rain for about 10 minutes, and I was thinking that it's sort of short-term pain for long-term gain. Stay out on the slicks and just drive super cautiously, and try and stay out until the rain dries up. But yeah, that wet period on the old hards was extremely difficult.
I know you kept it together. No damage from what we could see. We did note, as Silverford pointed out a few times, you had a few brushes with the wall this race. Did you feel that the setup was okay on your end?
It was slightly unstable, but yeah, when I was hitting the wall, it was with my rear left or rear right tyre, so there was no damage. It was more of just a little love tap.
Yeah, fair enough. We did notice that a couple of times. We weren't sure if you got any damage from those shunts or not, because we know all it takes is just one little shunt with the wall, and that will give you lime green damage, and that can ruin your race. So, no, thank goodness for that. That those little love taps didn't result in anything too bad. But yeah, you made the call during that safety car period to pit onto the medium tyres, and I'm guessing a bit like Silverford didn't feel that was the right decision at the end of the race, was it?
Yeah. Funny story about that. I was actually just about to press X to go into the box, and I switched to the mediums. And I was originally going to go onto the softs, but in the last half second I switched to mediums, and yeah, one little split-second decision took the win away from me because not to be arrogant, but I felt like I certainly had the pace that if I went out on softs I would have won that quite comfortably without any issues. But yeah, that was self-inflicted. Can't really blame anyone else but myself. There's poor strategy call.
Yeah, I've done that one too many times as well. It sucks, bro.
Ouch.
That's a big oof.
That is a big oof.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
That's Vicente Del Bosque oof.
KD, have you got anything to ask Marcus?
I also wanted to know too, did you get damage at some point when you hit the wall at the final stages of that race? Because I noticed you lost a bit. I mean, I know Players was on the soft tire, but I noticed that you lost time a little bit, like significantly. Did you have damage or no?
No, all it was just the warm-up phase between the two tires, and yeah, just rough restart. That's all it was.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go. It was just a tyre difference at the end there. There you go. Well, Marcus, one final question for you, mate. Next week we're heading over to Suzuka. How do you feel heading into next week?
to be quite honest, it's pretty much. Oh, excuse my dog's barking. Sorry.
That's all right.
It's one of my favorite tracks on the game, actually, if not my favorite. Really enjoy the speed in which you can carry around there. Sector 1 is one of the best sequence of corners and best sectors in F1 in my opinion. And really looking forward to it, and really happy to go into it with a good championship lead as well. Should be leading quite comfortably, as my closest rival had a bit of a rough night, finishing P13 I believe, which is disappointing to not get the win, but really happy because good points should give me a nice bit of a buffer in the championship.
Yeah, it should have been P12 for Mr. Ferrari, but he did a stupid boo-boo at the line.
Just
cost him a place. So
really happy because I've actually had a podium in every race, so that's really good, but also disappointed because I've only had one win, and that was Zandvoort over a month ago, and I feel like I have cost myself maybe 2 or 3 more during the season.
Well, the consistency is there, man, and the enthusiasm heading into next week. It sounds really good for you heading into Suzuka. Best of luck, but for now, congratulations on your P2 finish here at Singapore.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Now we'll move on to our race winner, Plevs. Welcome back to Victory Lane. Welcome to the podium for the first time this season. How does it feel?
It's about time. Yeah, pretty good. It's about time. I was probably on for. Should have had at least a couple of podiums, I think, by now. But some pretty ordinary results. Got taken out a couple of times at Monza and Spain, where I thought I'd get good results. So, I think I was due one, to be honest. Due some luck as well, and I like Singapore, so I'm happy to win it for the second season in a row. And it's really awesome to see how competitive the field is this season. Like Marcus just mentioned, he's only won once, and we've had. I think I'm the 5th different winner in 6 rounds, so it's pretty healthy competition, which is awesome. So from a league point of view, it's really great. And Silderfort's pace is amazing this season as well. So he's like up there challenging all the time. I have to say thank you for his setup tonight.
There you go.
Whoa, hang on a minute there.
I was gonna say thank you, but no.
I did make some changes to it, but it was pretty nice. So it was.
Let's just spilling the beans here.
There you go.
No worries.
But there's a lot of good setups out there. I was really torn. Like even the one that's like got the fastest that everyone's using on time trial is really drivable as well. So
Interesting.
It was a split decision, to be honest. I was like, don't know. I'm happy to win, and hopefully I can have a good rest of the season and put the bad results and bad luck behind. It seems to always happen to me in the first kind of 4 or 5 races every season, and then I kind of come back from there and got some tracks coming up that I think I'll be strong at. So hopefully I can start getting more podiums.
Qualifying was decently strong for you. P4 at the end of that. Was there any more time in it?
I don't know, because I just missed time my whole quali and didn't get a final run because I'm an idiot. Certainly, like I was like in practice, I was doing like low 36s. But Marcus' time 35.9, I think it was. It was pretty rapid. I think that's probably my max time if I put everything together. So really good lap from him. Yep. And Silderfort had a good one as well. So I was happy to hold P4, to be honest. After not doing a final run, I thought a few more drivers would have maybe jumped me, but my second run was pretty solid, so it didn't really matter. And I got a good start and got past ACW, and then these 2 boys in the chat now, they were so quick at the start on the hards, and I had to use everything and to try and keep with them, and then I made a mistake and kind of fell out of the 1 second. And Ferrari Pro was really quick as well, and he caught me. We had a little battle and passed each other a couple of times, and then the first safety car came out, I think. Was that right? I think it was. And then they stayed on hards.
Everyone else behind pitted onto medium.
And I'm like, whatever they do, I'll do something different. So like I went in And
Fair enough.
yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, free pit stop, and I think I only lost like 4 positions, but then I think I don't know who it was ahead of Chip, but Chip was hard to get past. I couldn't find a way, and I was like, oh no, I've made the wrong call here. And then it started raining, and I was like, it was that weird dry rain, but I think it only went to inters for like a lap, or maybe 2, yeah. And where they were faster, and I'm like, I kind of committed to staying out, and like I wasn't really struggling. I was pretty comfortable on the mediums, and everyone went to inters, so I was like 3 positions, and then I was so much quicker than the 2 guys ahead because I was still on the hards.
Yeah. And
I thought without that last safety car, I probably would have won the race anyway. To be honest, like with the tyre delta, I was probably taking them to the end, and they would have had to pit if they didn't use the inters. So yeah, I think that probably would have been a more comfortable win, to be honest. But yeah, and I was shocked to see these guys not take the softs on the last safety car either. I thought, podium, I guess, but then they all went mediums. I'm like, hang on, there's a chance here. So yeah, it was on, and then just all I had to do was get past the 2 boys ahead on mediums, and yeah, Pump had a good race, and yeah, it was pretty hard to get past, and I knew once Marcus got past, I had to get past this.
Yeah.
Like basically the same time, so I had to follow him.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he made it pretty hard for me to pass into turn 7, I think it was, with defending the line pretty hard. But yeah, GG's team, that was pretty good battle, and then just brought it home kind of thing. So yeah, that was it.
Oh, you were caught up in the walls a little bit. I did catch as well. There was a collision.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be another recovery drive. I forgot about that.
There was a collision between you and ACW at turn 3.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get past Chip. I kind of skipped over that, but I like opened up the steering into turn 3, like to try and get the better traction. And I guess ACW behind me just didn't read it and just spun me, kind of thing. So yeah, I thought it was going to be the 3rd time this season where my race was ruined.
You 2 got magnets, I swear.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyway, like worked out in the end, so not too upset about that.
KD, have you got anything to ask our race winner?
Would you like a restraint order between you and ACW?
Maybe.
In a sense.
Look, I'm sure, yeah, it's accidental, but yeah, I'm just glad it didn't affect my my race too much, really. Like, yeah, if there wasn't a safety car or weather after that, then yeah, it would have been a pretty shit race for me. But
yeah, but hey, it's a recovery and you managed to win it, so congratulations to you.
Yeah, awesome.
It's been a long time.
But one final question for you, Plevs. Next week we're heading over to Suzuka. How do you feel heading into next week?
Yeah, like the other boys said, it's great. It's a great track, especially I'm assuming they're wheel users. I think all the pad users hate it because it's like the change of direction's pretty sloppy on control. Maybe
it can be. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely a driver's track, like one of the classic F1 tracks. So yeah, I concur with what the other boys said, and it's great fun. Pretty good for racing too. Like
can be, yeah.
We'll have to see, because I think I actually haven't touched the track on the game yet, so that's something I'll have to work on. But that was the same for Singapore. But yeah, we'll have to see, because I don't think DRS is quite as powerful this game, so it might be a bit harder to overtake. You're gonna have to have a bit more of a tyre delta or pace delta. 1 DRS zone, is there?
Correct, down the main straight. So that's it.
Yeah. No, it should be fun. It's a great track, and hasn't been on the calendar in a couple of seasons, so yeah, looking forward to it.
So the last time it was on the Elite Series calendar, I think it was season 5, wasn't it?
Yes.
I remember that race because it was between iContrast and BP, and they had a terrific scrap out of front. It was fantastic.
That's right, yeah.
Side by side through the S's, not touching, just, yeah, it was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to next week. It's good to hear all 3 of you are looking forward to next week as well. But for now, Plevs, congratulations on winning the Singapore Grand Prix. Well done.
Thank you. Well done to Marcus and Silverford as well, man. Really good races.
Well, I think KD, I'll wrap everything up. Not a bad Singapore Grand Prix, I think.
I probably would consider it as one of the best races I've seen in the lead so far. I'm not gonna lie. Actually was really good.
Not something you tend to see from Singapore, but tonight it decided to turn things up a bit. So, that was good fun. But I think with the race finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator as always is KD1997. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 7 of the championship at Suzuka Circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.